Okay, good morning, students. Welcome to today's recruitment and selection session. Students, last time, am I audible to all of you? Can anyone reply yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can even see the slides, students. Can anyone reply yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Great. Today I'm seeing a lot of energy among the students. Okay. In the previous class, what we discussed was we understood the meaning of selection basically. That means selection refers to a process in which individuals are picked up from the pool of job applicants possessing the required knowledge and skills that is required for the job to be performed in an organization. Then after that, we even understood the process of selection also, which starts from screening of applicants, then selection test, then after that selection interviews, post that medical examination, then reference check and background verification, and finally hiring decision. Then very important, we even understood the major difference between the recruitment and selection. So when we were understanding the basic difference between these two, that is recruitment and selection, so students, can I ask you a question? Which one will come first, recruitment or selection? When it comes to the sequence, recruitment or selection, when it comes to sequence, which will come first?
Sir, recruitment.
Yes, recruitment is always conducted before the selection process. Correct? Selection is always conducted after the recruitment process. Then we even understood the various parameters through which we can differentiate between recruitment and selection. This was already discussed in the earlier class, like sequence, objective, then process, then methods. Methods means what? When it comes to recruitment, methods of recruitment are not very comprehensive, and therefore there is no more requirement of persons with highly skilled personnel. Whereas selection is concerned, very specialized methods are required in selection process. Therefore, in this process, only skilled personnel like experts of selection test, conducting interviews, etc. are considered. Then the other two parameters are service contract and result. Then we understood the screening the candidates. That means once pools of applications have been received, the next step that comes into picture is screening of application or shortlisting of applicants. So it basically involves students objectively assessing each application against the essential and desirable criteria set out in the person specification. Right? So this also we have discussed. Then principles of screening applications. The four principles what we discussed in the earlier class was be objective, equality and diversity, then fairness and recruitment experience. Then even we discussed, we had stopped here, right? So there are various techniques in which we can screen the applications. The first one is called application forms, then resume, then biodata and CV. So we will try to understand each method, each technique in detail. So first, we will take application forms. So what are these application forms? Application forms or application blanks are used to gain basic details about the candidates. It helps to identify the candidates' interest areas that prove to be of great help in discussion during the interview. It is a useful method of gathering the candidates' past details. It also helps to pass the candidates' details to the management and other members of the interview panel, and also it facilitates data storage for future use. So basically, students, what do we understand by application forms? It is used to gain the basic details or the information about the candidate who has applied for a particular job. Now, how do we basically design this application form? There are various parameters which we need to consider when we are designing the application form. So they are like personal background information should be included. Then educational attainment should be included. This comprises of details about the candidate's educational institutions, such as the school or the college or the universities, and it also includes the information regarding the course he has actually studied or mastered in that, and the duration of the study, then medium of the study. And the marks is very important. So this type of information is most important for any organization. So what we are studying now, the various parameters which has to be included in the application forms, or we need to consider when we are preparing the application forms. The third one is like work experience. This consists of the entire past job details, which includes the reasons, might be, the previous job exit reasons or job duties and responsibilities which he handled in the previous assignment. Then the earlier package, what he used to draw. So this data basically students updates the organization about the candidate's job stability, his behavior towards work, and his attitude and loyalty towards the previous employers. And this plays a very important role, students. Say, for example, if someone has worked in an organization for 6 months, and if he keeps on changing the organization for every 6 months, so when it comes to work experience, he has got 8 companies in his application forms. So what is the indication that? It is a clear indication that even in this organization, he might not stick to more than 6 months. Right. So more number of companies which are reflecting in your application forms, it is actually a negative sign, right? So you should stick on to an organization for at least till you gain some experience in that organization, at least for more than 3 years or more than that. If the work culture is not, you are not adjustable to the work culture of the environment is not suited for you, then only you can take a call, or sometimes due to monetary benefits, right? Then after that, the fourth parameter which has to be included will be the personal items. Like this comprises of a person's association membership, or the hobbies, or likes and dislikes. Then the compensation of the salary part. Application forms also ask for the salary that the candidate is currently receiving and what he is expecting from the organization. That is a very important parameter. Vani Podar, you should be on time. Tejasvi, you are joining now, huh? It's already 15 minutes. Shivraj. Okay. So, and then the very important parameter which has to be included in the application forms is even references. So which includes the name, the address, and the contact details of the person who can be contacted for references. So that is a very important thing. See, all these things you have to remember when it comes to designing of application forms. The first one, what we discussed, was the personal, background information. This includes the information regarding the candidate's name, the date of birth, or the correspondence, and the permanent residential address. The marital status, the nationality, the sex, parents' name, and their annual income. This information to the management about the candidate. This gives a complete information to the management about the candidate, status of his family in society, and the background, which determines his suitability in the organization, and also the influence of all these factors on his personality. Then we discussed about the educational attainments, then work experience. Work experience, as I mentioned to you, if someone is keep on, hopping from one organization to another organization within, 6 months, then the number of organizations will be a list, a complete big list will be there. So then there'll be a question, if I recruit a particular candidate, whether he will stick on in my organization for more than 6 months, right? So that clearly indicates that this person keeps on jumping from one organization to another. The moment he gains experience in our organization, then he'll be moving to another organization, right? Then his salary, then the personal items and references. See, references also plays a very important role, students, because when you start working, you will be reporting to your manager or your higher ups, right? So normally in the references, you will be putting his name, his mobile number, or his email ID also. So when you quit that organization, when you join a new organization, a background verification will go to your your earlier manager. So he or she should be giving a positive feedback about you, right? So every organization is very, very important for us. Our footsteps plays a major role in deciding our character, our mannerism is concerned. So we should always leave a positive impact among the minds of the people with whom we are working actually. Okay, so that plays a very, very important role. Then after understanding that, there are various types of application forms which we have to keep into consideration. The first one is called employment application form, then membership application form, rental application form, credit application form, and volunteer application form. So we'll try to understand each one of them in detail now. The first one is like employment application form. As the name only suggests, students, a form used to collect the information from the job applicants. So information collected may include, availability for work or proof of legal employment status, then salary requirements and the past job history. And then the second one is called membership application form. This type of form allows, an organization an opportunity to provide prospective members a way to request admittance. The member applicant may be asked to provide such information as employment history, emergency contacts or family members, and even references too. Then we have rental application form. Normally, they'll be collecting in other countries like United States or Canada or New Zealand or Australia when you're actually working over there in those countries. And one more information, what I want to tell you is today Canada is open for PR visas. PR visas. They're offering PR visas. That means a permanent residentship visas also. So at that point of time, you require some of the application forms like rental application form too. So this type of form allows a landlord to consider the qualification of a potential tenant. The application authorizes the landlord to verify the information provided. So this usually includes authorization to allow the landlord to check the applicant's credit history, employment status, rental history, and even it will help the company to go for a criminal background check too, right? Then credit application form. This type of form is used to apply for credit with the lender. So the information provided is used to help determine the borrower's employment status, his credit history, and ability to repay the loan. And then volunteer application form. See, why this thing has happened is, all of you know when the global financial crisis happened in between 2007 and till 9. So what happened exactly at that time was, the financial crisis, we normally call it as 2007 to 8, also known as the global financial crisis, was a severe worldwide financial crisis. So what happened actually is the US house prices and a rising number of borrowers were unable to repay their loans, students. So house prices in the United States peaked around in mid-2006, then coinciding with a rapidly rising supply of newly built houses in some areas. And the similar situation, what we saw, very recently due to COVID-19 also. So the COVID-19 pandemic is, wreaking havoc on the global economy, unleashing the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. So developing countries, facing severe economic impacts will need substantial international support to avoid the sharp increases in inequality. Then in 2008 also, the financial crisis is concerned. Excessive risk-taking by banks, combined with the bursting of the United States housing bubble, majorly we call it as housing bubble, caused the values of the securities tied to US real estate to plummet, damaging the financial institutions globally, not only in US, but globally. culminating with the bankruptcy of some of the banks like Lehman Brothers, something around 2008 September, and an international banking crisis. So what this credit application form? So this type of form is used to apply for the credit with the lender. Then the information provided is actually used to help determine the borrower's employment status, his credit history, and ability, whether he is in a position to repay the loan. Then last but not the least, we call it as volunteer application form. See, normally non-profit organizations can be held responsible for illegal acts committed by their volunteers. So a properly vetted and documented volunteer workers application can help these non-profits protect themselves under their umbrella insurance policy. A volunteer application form can provide the non-profit with the necessary information. Now, after understanding this, can anyone tell me the advantages and disadvantages of application form, at least one, so that I can move to the next part? So what are the advantages of application form? Normally, you came to know that it's a standardized application form, which gives a formal introduction of the potential applicant. Any other advantage which you feel from the application form? You can discuss advantages and disadvantages of application forms. At least one I want. Then I'll explain you the other.
It helps you to restore data of the applicant.
Tanvi, okay. It helps to store the data of the particular candidate who has applied, which will be there in the database. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And they can retrieve the information at any point of time. Okay, perfect. And any disadvantage? Application forms? See what happens. Now you will not understand the disadvantages, but few applicants are expert in giving the wrong information or the false information about their qualification, which is very difficult to verify. But nowadays, what has happened is all the companies, they have a verification tool. The software is concerned. So the moment you give your marks cards, or the moment you say that you are from VTU, VTU is one of the Asia's largest university, which has got tie-ups with almost all. Moment you said, or they might even send an email. They might even send a mail to the respective colleges, the heads of the departments, to verify the marks cards and revert, so that they can authenticate that you are a student from Jain College that is affiliated to VTU. Now, let me explain you the advantages and disadvantages of these application forms in detail. See, the first thing is, as Tanvi mentioned, the information can be saved in the database of the organization. So any moment or any point of time, if you want to retrieve the information, it is very easy to get back the information about a particular candidate. Then the firm has the right to even reject the potential applicant after proper screening of the applicant who does not meet the minimum job qualification. It is very helpful for the organization, in fact. Then it helps in forming a basis to start a conversation in the process of interview. See, the application forms will help or will assist the person who is taking your interview to understand your personality before he interacts with you, right? So he will try to understand your personality the moment he has got an application form. So it helps in forming a basis to start a conversation in the process of interview. Then disadvantages of application form are like just now what I discussed. Sometimes firms design certain application forms very carelessly also. And some applicants can give false information about their educational credentials are concerned, or any other information. They can easily manipulate or fabricate or falsify the information and put in the application form. Then there can be even possibility that the HR person face the problem in assessing the information about the applicant mentioned in the application form. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of application forms. Now next we will understand what is this biodata and the purpose of biodata. Now biodata is a term used to refer to any type of personal history or experience, or sometimes education information, right? See, some organizations use a biographical information questionnaire instead of or in addition to the usual application blank. Biodata questionnaires may be much more detailed than application blanks. Very sophisticated statistical analysis. 1 minute, students. So biodata is what exactly is a biographical data, which is a factual kinds of questions about the life and work experiences, as well as items involving opinions, values, beliefs, and attitudes that reflect to historical perspective. This is much more in detail what I'm explaining you now. So biographical information is not expected to predict all future behaviors. Please understand this. But it is useful in personal selection in that it can give an indication of probable future behaviors based on individuals' prior learning history. And even biodata instruments, also called biographical information blanks, have an advantage over personality and interest inventories in that they can capture directly the past behavior of a person, probably the best predictor of his or her future actions. Say, for example, you have mentioned, or you will be saying at the time of at the course of your interview that, sir, my weakness is what I never give up. That is my weakness. I never give up, sir. That means till I complete a particular task, I will not sleep, sir. So that is even your weakness, and you are not telling exactly your weakness, but you are even highlighting your strength also in that, right? So what is your personality then? What I need to understand? So you need to justify a few things over there. So in my college days also, there were a lot of assignments which were given. So I never used to sleep before completing a subject assignment. Let it be 12:30 in the morning or 1:30 in the morning. I used to complete that, then only I used to go to sleep. So you have that, task completion attitude. So that is also my weakness, sir. That means you give me a task, I will first complete that task, and then only I'll go home, or then only I'll be going to bed, right? So you are what you are doing here, you are telling your personality in a very positive way. Or some candidates might even tell like this, sir, I will complete the task within minimum period. I used to complete the task within minimum period. I'm a very smart worker, sir. Now, when I say smart, it is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So for each task, what you will be giving to me, I fix a time bound and I try to complete within that time bound. So you need to highlight your weakness also as it's one of your core strength. Okay, that even gives a strong personality, a positive attitude about you, a strong strength which inherits in you, right? So biodata, so what we understood now, biodata is a term used to refer to any type of personal history, experience, or educational information. So some organizations use a biographical information questionnaire instead of or in addition to the usual application blank. So biodata as factual kinds of questions about life and work experiences, as well as to items involving opinions, values, beliefs, and attitudes that reflect a historical perspective. Now, what are the purpose of biodata? You can see the various parameters on the slide over there. The first one is called personality explanation. The second one is called cognitive and non-cognitive explanation. The third one is called non-fiction explanation. Then relevant item explanation and point-to-point explanation. We will understand each purpose in detail now. First, we will take personality explanation. So what is this purpose of biodata? The first one is personality explanation. See, many biodata items serve as indicators of important personality traits, such as like a positive attitude or will to achieve or a strong a strong mental ability, or you are strong in analytical skills, or you are strong in problem solving, right? So these stable traits may both underlie past performance and contribute to even future performance. Then we have the second one, that is cognitive and non-cognitive explanation. See, biodata measures may tap both cognitive and non-cognitive traits and abilities. That is, the past activities and achievements reflect your skill and intelligence as well as personal qualities such as motivation or leadership. Such broad measurement of a variety of important qualities may even contribute to the predictive power of biodata instruments, right? So you should not dominate, but you should show them that these are my inherent qualities which are there, right? Then we have the third purpose, that is non-fiction explanation. See, reporting on the verifiable aspects of one's past history reveals the truth about one's entire relevant past. A person's past history probably provides a sounder basis for predicting future behavior than does a short experience such as the interview, in which candidates are on their best behavior and can present an artificially positive picture of themselves. Sir, during my college days, I have presented and published 5 research papers. Sir, I have during my college in-house fest, I was the master of ceremony for the entire program. So these are some of your leadership skills. That means voluntarily you want to go ahead and take the given any opportunity, you would not like to leave that. You want to grab it immediately, right? So these are some of the positive attitude in you. You motivate your team. You build a strength in your team. You have that leadership capability in you, within you. So you need to show all these parameters in such a way that you should not boost yourself, but these anecdotes should connect in such a way that the interviewer should be in a position to understand your true ability. That is very important. And your biodata should explain your ability. Then the fourth one is relevant item explanation. That means weighted application blanks and biodata questionnaires are valid because the only items that receive weights are those that are individually valid. Thus, every item is related to the criterion. In contrast, in most tests, only the total score is validated against the criterion. If some individual items do not predict job success, they are still part of the total score and may depress the overall validity of the test. Then last but not the least, the purpose of biodata is concerned point-to-point explanation. So biodata, basically it uses the past behavior to directly predict the future behavior. All of you know this. There is no need to hypothesize or measure the intervening constructs that may be imperfectly related to the behavior either for the past or future. So these are some of the purposes of the biodata. Now students, after understanding all this, can anyone tell me the advantages and disadvantages of biodata, at least one? So what you feel the advantages and disadvantages of biodata? According to you, so what could be the advantages of biodata, or what you feel are the disadvantages of biodata? Yes. Sarika, what do you feel? Yashaswini? Yashaswini, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, any point you want to highlight here? The advantages?
Sir, as disadvantages, it might be people might give a fake information, sir, with regard to
Okay.
skill to pursue.
Okay. Faking of information. Perfect. Then Divya Patil, advantages?
Yes. Good morning, sir. Advantage is they will easily get information about the candidates through the biodata.
Okay, perfect. At
Skills
least
and
good,
yes.
good, good. Let me ask any other point, volunteers, any other points? Vani,
Uh,
good
uh,
morning, Vani.
Good morning, sir.
Any other point you want to add, ma?
All information in one hand.
Okay, so complete information about the candidate. Okay, now, okay, you all gave some of the inputs. Now let me reframe all the sentence. See the advantages of biodata, like the same questions are asked to everyone who completes the form, and the answers given are assessed in a consistent way. Correct. A biodata questionnaire is probably a fairer means of selection than other conventional procedures. So although there may be a fairly extensive R&D cost, once the criteria are known, biodata will be very cheap. So biodata forms can be developed in multiple choice formats, which are amenable to machine scoring. And as Vani told, in one sheet, all the complete information about the candidate will be there. So the company person or the company HR can easily assess the personality, or the abilities, skill, the knowledge required for a particular job can be easily assessed. Then most people, they even prefer and expect to be asked about their biographies rather their personalities. For many, biodata are more preferable and acceptable than personality tests. Then as advantages are there will be some of the disadvantages from other point of view. You cannot say that's 100% advantage it is, or 100% disadvantage. For few it might be advantage, for few it might be disadvantage. So when we are discussing about the disadvantage of biodata, someone rightly told, so biodata has been shown to be fakeable, completely faking the information, right? Though it is the company's job to verify the information, but the candidates can fake the data what they give. So the second one could be, many organizations have never really examined their selection in detail. The criteria have just grown up over time or reflect the personal preferences of recruiters. The process of diagnosing the clear selection criteria in advance of setting up a biodata system will have considerable benefits for the whole of the selection process. Then we say biodata work on the idea that the past behavior, please understand this, the past behavior predicts the current performance. But if current criteria are very unstable, so say in a rapidly changing market, one is perpetually out of date, biodata may be the best in stable organization and environments. See, one classic example what I want to give is, you will not be comfortable in the working environment in an organization, either due to your manager or due to your colleagues. So they might not have a good rapport with you, so due to which you decide to quit that organization and join a new organization, right? But when it comes to a background verification, when you'll be joining a new organization, they will be calling your earlier organization where you're working to check your background or to collect your background information. So they might even completely uh, you know uh, give a false information about you, because that environment was not good for you. You did not had a good rapport with the manager and the colleagues, right? So whatever information you have put in your biodata, it can be when it comes to validating that information, it can be false. They might tell false about you, that you are not a group, or you will not working, you will not work in team, so you want to work individually, or you always quarrel with your subordinates as well as your team. Some negativity can be told about you, right? So that is some of the disadvantages are also there. So this is about the biodata. Next, okay, you can see advantages of biodata in terms of the parameters. I've listed here: objectivity, the cost, the checkability, then the validity and self-presentation. When it comes to checkability, students, it is possible in theory at any rate to check up on the answers to the respondents. The fact may reduce faking. Whereas validity is concerned, nearly all the studies have shown that the biodata are a valid and a reliable way of selecting individuals. Certainly, the results look as if biodata are better than interviews and personality questionnaires and as good as ability test. Then what you people have designed now for your sake, it is called as resume, right? So resume means what? Resume is a 1 or 2 page document that candidates use to highlight their qualifications, skills, and if any work experience. Suppose if someone has worked and then they're doing the post graduation, they can even include that also, no problem in that. But someone is a fresher, you can skip that part. Work experience is concerned, you don't have any work experience, okay, while applying for a particular job. So all the relevant information about an individual can be found in this resume. So practically what we say actually, it is a marketing as well as branding tool of an individual to make recruiters aware of him or her. It represents the individual to the future employers or colleagues in the same fashion as he or she expects. So resume is what is a financially the most crucial document, students. So in fact, resume is the face of you. So you need to be very, very cautious in designing your resume. You should check for the grammatical mistakes. You should check for, apostrophe, full stop. So it is the most crucial document, as the success or failure of a candidate depends on the attractiveness or fault of the resume. We should be very, very careful. So any kind of carelessness may result in loss of the job or career. See, you are applying for a job in a multinational organization. So in your resume itself, they found a lot of spelling mistakes. So it clearly shows what? It clearly shows your carelessness. That means you are not in a position to check your own resume properly. Then what work will you do in my organization? Tell me. So there are all chances that you might be rejected only by just glancing at your resume. So make sure that you thoroughly glance your resume, check for spelling mistakes, check for grammatical mistakes. If you feel that it is 100%, then please show to your professors, get it cross-verified, because for you, everything will be 100% correct. But if for someone, if you give, they will find of plenty of other mistakes over there. It happens to each individual in this world, okay? For me, my document is perfect. But when I give to someone, so he will find out mistakes in that, right? So always remember, student, any document of yours, you have to cross-verify once, or you need to get it checked with your friends or your teachers. That is the best way of correcting, okay? So what are the characteristics of resume? Before going to the resume parts, let me understand that characteristics of resume. See, all the information is written in points. The approach of writing is formal and objective. Then the third person format is used for writing. The candidate's name and address is also provided. Educational qualification of the candidate is summarized, and professional connection is described, and skills of the candidate are also explained. Since all of you have already prepared a resume, and you all know that the resume parts are concerned, there will be heading for that. Heading means what? The heading of the resume includes what? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by heading here? All of you have already designed your resume, no? So it should be easy for you to speak now. Yes, heading means what here? Heading in resume means what? What exactly you are?
Address.
Come again?
Name of the candidate, address, and phone number, email ID.
Fantastic. The heading of the resume includes the contact information, the name of the candidate, The full postal address with PIN code, telephone number with area, correct, and the email address. So that is what I mean to say by heading. And then career objective. In your class, I have seen in the earlier class also, when we ask them to prepare a resume, if there are 100 students in the class, at least 50% of them will have the same objective. So how it is possible? You all tell me. Every student or each student is concerned, his objective should be different compared to other objective. But normally students, what they do is they copy and paste the objective. No, that should not be happening henceforth, especially for HR students. You should frame your career objective. That is very important. That means, like how, it's very simple. What is your career objective? Like to secure. Always remember the career objective will start from TO2. To secure a challenging position in a reputable organization, to expand my learning, knowledge, and skills. See, to secure, that means you are clearly mentioning that secure means what? I'll be staying in your organization for at least 1 year and above. A challenging position, that means I love to work in a challenging environment. To secure a challenging position in a reputable organization, to expand my learning, that means you are open to learn here. You are open. You have that hunger of learning. You have the hunger of knowledge gaining. You have the hunger of skill gaining, right? So like that, you need to frame your career objective. Then to secure a responsible career opportunity to fully utilize my training and skills while making a significant contribution to the success of the company. See how beautifully you can design career objectives. Then education, which includes the name and location of the college or the university, institute affiliated, attended, and the degrees or the certificates received. The candidates can even mention the grade point or averages or class or division if it is on the higher side. Very important, okay? They should not mention a poor grade. That is where, in the resume itself, do not mention. Because if they ask you, you can tell, sir, my post-graduation is concerned, I got less marks compared to my undergraduation. But you should always speak truth. That is very important, students. I have seen some of the students, the moment they enter, they will be telling false. They'll be giving all false information. Right? Do not try to give any type of false information. You will be easily caught. So always speak truth. Then after education, your special skills, abilities, and aptitudes. Like in this part of the resume, the candidate should list their special skills, abilities, and aptitudes that are of significance and of direct relevance to the job applied for. Like computer programming or computer processing or Microsoft Excel, or if you are good with foreign languages, consulting, drafting, technical writing. You should be always selective and specific. Highlight only those skills and talents that are relevant to the targeted job. That is very important, okay? Then your activities and interest. Position sought in the organization, professional summary, then work experience if you have got any, or else you can skip that. Then what are the activities and interest? The candidate should mention their extracurricular or co-curricular and professional activities, their hobbies and interest. These activities must show them as a dynamic and energetic person who can take and accept the challenges. So companies always remember, please students, companies prefer such people who are dynamic, who are multi-talented, who are good in everything. You should make them realize that if they take you, you will be an asset to their organization. Otherwise, why they'll recruit you, tell me, right? Then very important, last but not the least, it is called as references. So for you people, that is for the freshers, you can directly put your faculty name or HOD name as reference. And very important, whenever there is a reference call, we will always give a positive feedback about our students. That is very important. So references, some employers need references from persons who know the candidate's work or professional competence through formal and professional interaction. And always remember, you with whom you used to interact more, you please give that faculty reference and inform that particular faculty or a teacher that you have given your you have mentioned his or her name in the resume as reference. Correct? So whenever they receive a call from the organization to verify your to check your background, right? So they will be prepared that this particular student of mine already has put my name as reference, so they'll be ready with that. So these persons may include their even the teachers or their immediate supervisors or the research guides, colleagues, subordinate. So they should mention the name of the reference. The designation is very important, and a full contact address with telephone number and email ID is very, very important. So these are the parts which are present in resume. Okay, so what I'll do is, in the next class, I'll be taking the resume formats, which are chronological, functional, and combination. In the next class, I'll be taking this. Today, I will stop the session here. And one more information, students, I have already mailed all of you, if you check your mail inbox, the presentation topics. So when the college reopens, all of you should be having the presentation topics ready. Your presentation, the slides should be ready. Okay, don't make 20, 25 slides. Make only 2-3 slides, but you should be in a position to deliver the maximum content of that. Okay, so probably if everything goes fine, by 17th of this month the college might reopen. We are waiting for the circular, so ensure that your presentations are ready. So all of you have got, right, yesterday my mail? Can anyone reply yes sir? Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. Perfect. So prepare a presentation and keep it ready. Okay. So have a great day, students. Take care, and bye-bye once again. Thank you so much for your patience listening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.